Hello, good morning, everybody. Okay, I've been working on this one for a long time, kind of like yesterday. Finally, I feel like got it to a spot where it's ready for the stream. So, this is a mono red deck, kind of in the style of Imahayashi, kind of mono red mid range, that is trying to capitalize on Sunspine Lynx plus Arena of Glory. Sunspine Lynx, kind of a reasonable modern card. 4 mana 5/4, players can't gain life, damage can't be prevented. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to each player equal to the number of non basic lands they control. So, this is a very good foil to the ring, but it actually does a lot of other stuff in the format. And one thing that's really cool to me about Sunspine Lynx is that it's a card that you don't want to play in your ring decks, and it's a card you don't want to play in your Boros Energy decks. Also, okay, let me read this chest cold open real quick. Good morning, Spikelins. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? The sun is shining, the weekend is nearing, and all seems right in the world. Today, the Typhoon, we're going to offer our tribute to the sun with Sunspine Lynx in a mono red shell. Can we successfully control our opponent's life totals down to 0? Or they snuff out the light of our Sunspine and deny us our rightful trophies. Stay tuned to find out. Remember to support the Typhoon, like, sub, comment, give subs, etc. Thank you so much. Good morning, Chess. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so what I like about Sunspine Lynx is that it's a card that is pretty powerful, especially when you're hasting with Arena of Glory. It's just like it just ends games. It's so much damage out of nowhere. But it's a card that you do not want to play in your ring decks, and it's a card you do not want to play in your energy decks too, because it is a big non-bow to have a card that says players can't gain life in an Ocelot Pride Guide of Souls shell. Like, it is just so awkward. And then conversely, Sunspine Lynx is very good against Boros Energy. It has 4 toughness, so it doesn't die to Flage or Bolt. They have to have an extra energy for Galvanic Discharge, which isn't, very hard, of course. And it turns off, like, Guide of Souls doesn't gain life. Ocelot Pride does not ever trigger. Flage doesn't gain life, and it's a good way to pressure them. We've also kind of found out in, like, our Hollow One shells that Detective's Phoenix is, like, very good at, it's very good at, like, racing Boros, too. It's very good against, like, Boros, Dimir, Izzet. Very grindy, very recursive, good at racing. And also very good on a Ragavan. Detective's Phoenix on a Ragavan is awesome, and I was playing 4 last night, but I ended up like not loving drawing 2 copies early, so down to 3, which I think it feels pretty good. I was playing 2 Winter Moons yesterday also when I was testing. Card is very good, I think, in this deck. I was really liking it, but I really did hate drawing a second copy. We do have a lot of ways to loot it away, but one thing about Winter Moon also is it's a 2-drop, but you really want to play it on like turn 3 or turn 4. Playing Winter Moon on turn 2 is kind of awkward, because it's like, you just give your opponent the information that they need to be fetching basic lands. But if you can wait till turn 3, turn 4, after they already have 2 non-basics, it's really awkward for them. It's really annoying for them. So, like, I'm okay not drawing it. I'm pretty happy to draw the first copy. I basically never want to draw 2. So I think I'm just playing 1, especially because I wanted to main deck some Soul Guide Lanterns to be a little bit more resilient to Flage. Another thing too is Oliphaunt's really awesome in this list. We have Oliphaunt as not only like a 1 card collect evidence for Phoenix, but in your Arena of Glory deck, Oliphaunt kind of becomes like a sick top deck in the late game, which is pretty dang cool too. So let's start playing some games. Deafening Silence dodges a Braid. It dodges like a lot of the removal spells that they play for. They play a lot of removal spells for Magistrate, so I think it makes sense to play a card that they're not kind of just prepped for, right? Could it be because of the instant speed Cascade ban? I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but like Living End is definitely still a playable deck in my opinion. Okay, I guess I was gonna Bauble myself to see if there is a burn spell on top, but now that we've drawn Channeler, we're gonna go Channeler Bauble. Just in case they have Bowmasters. Halfling Subtlety. Subtlety does not usually see a lot of play in Nadu. Kind of low on blue cards. Could still be a Nadu deck. Maybe more likely to be like 4-color Omnath. Don't love drawing let the land. We can loot some away. So let's see if my top card's a burn spell. It's a Lynx. Well, I do want to keep that Lynx. Yeah, it seems like 4-color Omnath. So being on the draw gets a turn 3 ring with Lynx in our hand might be a little awkward. We'll see what they do next turn. Still nothing. Hard to complain about that, I guess. They counter this, we get Delirium. Okay. I mean, they have this subtlety up to... Maybe I should have graveyarded the Lynx because of the subtlety we knew about him. Just seems like it's probably really nice against them to have. Opponent's not doing a lot. Shocks in this fountain. Pending's the channeler. Then still just holds up this hardcast subtlety. So let's loot away Sacred Foundry, Mountain. Get in with a Shaman. Bait the subtlety on the Ragavan post-combat. My opponent's probably pretty thirsty to cast it, and then we can Lynx, even though it's not hasty. Just would much prefer them to subtlety this, of course. King Zeke with the 29 months, thank you, welcome back. Yes, it does seem like they were pretty thirsty to subtlety this. So put that on the bottom. We play this, we each take 2 here. Nice to have a Spyro in the hand. Been liking Spyro lately. The fuck? Did you make the stream smaller? I've changed nothing. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's exactly the same as it's been for months. Thank you for coming back. Thanks again, Zeke. The rest of your life, indeed. Oh, double spelling. Legendary spells. This is a Teferi. Flage. So nice to have the lantern for the Flage. Am I supposed to haste the Spyro? The 2 damage definitely can be good. Let's see what we draw. And the fact that I can haste 2 things now seems correct. Exert. So haste here. Hoping to draw a 1-mana instant. Got 8 of those to draw into here to put some Delirium on the Channeler. Would be awesome for our Reflection to live and let us copy the Spyro. See if we can get that Delirium going. Not quite. Let's see what they're drawing. Just a land. Don't have to crack the lantern too aggressively here, of course. Interesting attack. Weird. I would think that this attack would definitely signify that they have some action here, but they have not. They're just letting me reflection. Or it seems that they're letting me reflection here. I think I'm going to copy. Could maybe be better to respond, but I'm just not really sure. You would think they would just main phase Solitude my reflection. Nope. So we'll trade this for Halfling, I guess. Would have attacked first. Well, the upside seemed pretty high. I think attacking first does seem fine. Okay, I was surprised they're blocking like this. Okay, so I still don't need to sack this Lantern until they put one more card in the yard. Uh-oh. Need my Lynx back. 2 cards in their hand. Taking 3. Down to 9. They have 2 spells, not ideal. Another Ragavan, also not ideal. White Lantern over Relic. Could be a fun little puzzle maybe for you to figure out if you want. We could look at some of the cards in the deck. We got Dragon Rage's Channeler, we got Unholy Heat, we got Detective's Phoenix. We got a lot of cards in our deck that use the graveyard. How is this closed? I kind of want to... Yeah, I think I have to pop this Lantern and find an instant removal spell. So I can, like, kill... Yeah, it's, like, kind of the only way that I'm stabilizing here. I know, obviously, that they have this Flage in the yard. I did add a 3rd Lantern to the main. And we do get to bestow upon Ragavan. Okay, so we'll try to get Delirium on our Channeler, 2nd main phase. We'll also try to hit... I don't know, the One Ring, Binding... Solitude? Fortunately, 1 mana short of also playing the Fable. Yeah, not a bad hit. Well, here comes the Flage. Gonna be tough to beat. Although we do have 4 Unholy Heats that could maybe answer it. Also, they're probably gonna kill the Ragavan, which would like let me block with the Phoenix, so maybe they should attack first. Is that what they're trying to figure out right now? Okay, they tap Delighted Halfling for blue. Untaps it. Are there mini decks in Modern that don't use the graveyard at all? I mean, there's some. Like, Nadu barely uses the graveyard. They do some endurance loops. Eldrazi doesn't use the graveyard very much, if at all. Yeah, for the most part, most decks have, like, a Flage or Delirium. Okay, so dead Ragavan. But I still have this Phoenix, and I can block this Subtlety. I can also like then bestow the Phoenix upon Solitude and just have a lot of life gain. Although I guess my mills have just not been that good. Sorry, I thought I had more evidence to collect. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 evidence to collect. Five evidence to collect. Six evidence to collect. Okay, so now I do think bestowing upon the Solitude so I don't die seems kind of important. Out of evidence. Bolt is like fine. I really need to find like Spyro. Yeah, Bolt is just like not stabilizing me next turn. Wait, you got something? Subtlety. Okay, this is not a what? Yeah, it's not a targetable card. For a second I thought they were targeting. Do I leave the Solitude back to block now? Maybe. If I attack, I go up to 12 and I have kind of shitty blocks. Yeah, let's leave it back to block. Yeah, so you have to exile a total mana value of 6. So first we exiled just an Oliphaunt, then we exiled 6 1-drops. Exiling lands does not help. Lands and baubles are not evidence. Lands are not admissible evidence. But if you wanted to exile your graveyard, you could exile the 0-drops to hide evidence. I don't know. The flavor is there. So they're targeting the Solitude with Flage here. So we could block like this potentially. We could, yeah, I think that makes sense. So we go to 6. Kind of low against the subtleties, I guess. But we have the Phoenix to block a subtlety next turn potentially. Fighting for our lives over here. What's their last card? It could be worse. Kills the Channeler. Probably the wrong choice. I don't know. I'm pretty close to dead. I mean, I could Unholy Heat a subtlety here. I think, especially with another loot coming, let's high roll a little bit. Try to find Spyro. Alright, so fade a top deck or something. Always hard to out-top deck the Omnath deck. Also not drawing a Lynx. I mean, not the Lynx. Wait, I think I did draw a Lynx earlier. I don't see one in exile, but I thought I did draw one this game. Alright, so we'll loot away this Ragavan. We do draw the Spyro, which is pretty critical. Although, 1, 2, 3... I want to be able to copy the Spyro with Reflection by bestowing Reflection onto a Phoenix. I don't know if we're going to be able to do all that. Okay. Sits up straight. So I can play Channeler, and then I can bestow a Phoenix, exiling Phoenix. I think I'm 1 short. Because I can exile Phoenix for 3, then a Ragavan, then a Bolt, but then I have to exile one other thing. I could draw into stuff. I think because I want to draw into instants, I'm going to exile instants. I also have like more instants in the decks, I think. Okay, so Delirium back online. Now we're not dead on board, and we have 2 blockers that line up pretty well against the subtlety and the ability to copy a Spyro. So winnable. One problem is I'm at 3, and then my Lynxes are dealing me 2, so I can't like copy Lynx a bunch and stuff. Oh, okay. Also, my opponent will just be able to escape Flage after I block twice. Not sure if there's like an answer to this. Like a line. Solitude, 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 Solitude. Yes! Yes! Gain me life, please! Dude, and I just have another Reflection coming next turn. This is crazy. My opponent's definitely made a few like pretty critical mistakes, but this is like, you know, I'll take my opponent messing up big time here. And I draw a Lightning Bolt. Do I want to bolt anything right now? I think yes, because I get the Surveil. So why don't we bolt this subtlety? Keep a heat on top. This is crazy. We're gonna win this game, I think. Opponent just totally missed the line. Okay, so I draw Unholy Heat. I flip this Reflection. I'm gonna float a haste mana here. I'm gonna go Channeler, Unholy Heat, Omnath using this mana. Then we're going to reflection copy Spyro. We draw an Unholy Heat and an Oliphaunt. So I'm going to Mountain Cycle this Oliphaunt. Which I find no mountain, but I want the evidence to collect here. Sorry, I guess let's just not tap that mana. Let's just use the haste mana here. And then I think save this heat for the Flage or a Flage. Unless I saw like a lantern on top there. But it's down to 16. Amazing game. 2 cards in their hand. Seemingly like those card. Well, they had a spell, but I don't know what the spell was because they didn't do anything. Maybe a halfling. They would have played that though. Why not bolt on the other subtlety to keep DRC alive? I would rather trade DRC for subtlety. I'm happy with that trade with my life total being so low. I just want to get the flyers off the field. Yeah, I do. I am loving Detective's Phoenix. This card has definitely been really nice. Yeah, Lynx is now online again. Solitude is so bad against me. So bad in general. Okay, I'm at 4. 2 cards in their hand. They finally drew a ring, but we have like 3 Lynxes we could draw into here. Let's do this before they tap the ring, I think. I guess I'll copy the Spyro end of turn. I'm kind of scared of like another Solitude, but I shouldn't be that scared of it. Solitude white card being their exact 2 cards, right? They also might. I guess if they I want to be able to block with my 4/4. Not that they will attack it that often. I think I only have 10 cards. I almost like I'm guaranteed to find a Lynx, right? Look, I could be kind of bad against another. Okay, guess not. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Okay. So I play a Lynx. I take 2. My opponent takes 4. They're down to 15. I have an exerted Arena of Glory, so I can't haste the Lynx. Are they just super dead? It's like they might be super dead. Let's see. So they're gonna block. They're gonna block a 2-power creature. Take 4, 6, 10, 15. They're like exactly dead. So we could maybe find another Arena of Glory. Go to 1. I think I might as well copy this. Very funny to discard 2 Spyros at like this point in the game. Okay, I'll take a Heat. That's more damage. Double Lynx kills us. I know Double Lynx kills us, but I was looking for maybe Arena of Glory. The One Ring is now bad, officially. What a game, baby. What a game. Beautiful game. All the rings in the graveyard. So I thought I had one more. I think we just play the 4th Lantern, cut the bolts. Cut a bolt. They drew our entire library. Opponent did punt. Pretty bad for this Lynx just good. I've been liking Lynx. It's good against energy too. I've been liking the Lynx. Alright, let's keep. Great game. Turn 1 halfling. No burn spell in hand, unfortunately. No untapped mana anyways. These will come in tapped or untapped, thankfully. We can Channeler and haste the Channeler next turn. I think I should probably go Channeler Bolt, because if my opponent can play a turn 3 ring before we can punish them with the Lynx, it's pretty bad. The Graveyard another Bolt, I guess. So here, I think Seasoned Pyromancer discarding Lantern, discarding Phoenix, getting Delirium, and setting up to hopefully draw a land, and then links them if they play a ring seems like a pretty good plan to me. We did not draw the land for the Lynx. They won't necessarily ring. We might still top deck a land. Has to be untapped. We do have 3 more Oliphants. But it would be very exciting if they play ring and we just top deck the land for Lynx here. Looks like an Omnath that they misfetched for. They need to get an island here. When I played PT Barcelona, I had an opponent who fetched like this twice in the same match and was unable to win the game because of it. No Mercy. Let's Lynx them. Funny enough, I'm taking more damage to the Lynx than they are this game. Yeah, Oliphant's very good with Phoenix. I don't think you want to play any in the Hollow One deck because you're just so good at filling up your yard, and you can't really afford the tap land like Oliphant as well. But you could play some potentially. Oliphant's also going to be hasted with Arena of Glory in the late game with this deck, which could be good. So yeah, Hardcast Solitude, which. Okay, so if I bestow here, yeah, they're dead if I don't attack with. If I don't attack, oh yeah, so I don't lose. I do lose Delirium actually with this. Could get it back. Do not get it back. Is Arena of Glory 2 just good enough? It's a pretty appropriately designed card, I think. So they exile this, then they block here, gain 3, take 4. Yeah, seems like I should just attack like this. Obviously, yeah, we're still pretty ahead here. Four cards in their hand. Oh, that's good. Don't have a Lynx in play at the moment. It might stabilize. Oh, they were F6, so they didn't crack their fetch? Okay, well that makes things a lot better for us, I tell you what. So I'm okay trading Omnath for Lynx in this spot. Oh no. Yeah, Lynx is a lot better if your opponent's F6. I don't know, not the most representative game. We might still lose here. Might still lose. But also got 8 minutes on their clock and they're down a game. Yeah, we could haste this Channeler and have lethal flying here. Alright. That blew my whole paid actor budget. Keeping this. Love to play a turn 2 Fable. How's Lynx been doing? I've been liking the Lynx so far. We were 1-2 the first league, lost some close ones, kind of lost because Solo Jailer sucks in round 3. Alright, turn 1 Mishra's Bauble. Then they play a basic Swamp. Basic Swamp, Mishra's Bauble. I guess it could be Mardu. They pitch a Dothy Void. They they evoke a Grief here. This is maybe like the selfie style rack deck. What if this kind of shell, mono red mid range with links to punish greedy mana bases could be viable in Pioneer. Also hates out Amalia. Yeah, I mean maybe hating out Amalia is a big deal. Losing Arena of Glory to haste your links definitely is like a much lower power level, but lower power level is also just kind of acceptable. All right, so I'm gonna take my 3-drops here, I suppose. Been a while since I've been grief scammed on turn 1. Oh, they took the heat? It's gonna let me play a turn 2 Fable? How was that the conclusion we came to here? Fable was kind of the best card in this hand, wasn't it? So if we see a push, we'll push the Grief. Urborg. I don't know, maybe there's something in their hand. Maybe they like Bowmaster in their hand. I guess Bowmaster would kind of explain this line. Because then they would just get to go like ping this, and then my loot is not so good. Versus like me playing Spyro. It's like a bit better. Not that I have any other line to take this game. There's a Saga. You would think that they would Bowmaster main phase, because they're going to do it in response to this trigger anyways, so not much reason to like just let me untap here, but they did just let me untap here. Alright, so I think we are not going to use the ability here. We're going to attack with our Shaman and then play a Lynx post-combat. Would have preferred to haste it so we could be a bit more aggressive this game, but of course, when you get grief scammed, your options are pretty limited usually. Seasoned Pyromancer tokens might be good next turn. Saga Necro deck. Yeah, it's like this rack style list that was kind of popular pre-MH3. A few more people have been playing it lately. It's been kind of a weird deck. Good chance I'm siding my Lynxes out against it. If we can find the slots, I guess. So I'm down to 11. Does my opponent have a third land? No third land. That's big. Philadelphia the Saga. Looks like, assuming my Shaman gets to attack, we'll be making some tokens. Maybe just chump grief. My opponent may chump the Lynx and then push. That would not be ideal. Happy enough with this double block. I'm going to play the basic mounted in case I want to copy the Lynx with the Shaman or the Reflection next turn. I also might want to block the Grief with a token and the Reflection. Okay, they did have the push. Kind of close, kind of borderline. I'm going to play Jeskai Clones for locals tonight. Only have 2 image recommendations for replacement. Should play the first Goblin Bombardment for sure. There's another card someone suggested that they put in. I actually can't remember what it was. I remember thinking that yes, the first bombardment, maybe second, was correct, and then I don't remember what the other card they added, but I remember thinking it sounded good. I can't remember who that was. Okay, they have 1 land in play. It seems like we're probably just gonna triple block here and then try to out top deck them, which I think is pretty doable with me having a lot more mana than my opponent does, and I've got some good top decks, of course. A deck tech for log. Down to 9. 4 cards in their hand, all spells. Might be hasting an Oliphaunt next turn. Approach from the Second Sun is not close to being a modern playable card. You should never choose to include approach of the Second Sun if you were trying to build a modern deck optimally. You can definitely play it if you think it's cool and fun and interesting and it's something you really want to do. But at no point should you deck tech me with an approach of the Second Sun and expect me to not say these words to you. So You should never ever consider playing them in any context unless you have some like very odd like omniscience like wish wish situations, but it should never be in your main deck. Um, so moving on from that, we have this is blue white control, uh, where we've cut the Flages and we've added Approach for the Second Sun and we've added Brain Surge for Terminus. The big problem with doing this, besides the big problem with building your deck this way, is that Terminus is worse than Wrath Disguise. It is not as good a card as Wrath Disguise, and that is also very painful. But it's like there's just not, I think, a very good argument for playing Brain Surge Terminus over Tune the Narrative Wrath Disguise, and so that's also a big problemo here. I think maybe you could say, oh, Tamio is really nice in the shell, and that could be true. That could be a reason. But I've also played Tamio in Wrath Disguise decks and just kind of felt like it's fine before, not necessarily mandatory. Nice to beat a Grief Scam. I will say that I do like playing Binding. You also just probably should be playing Binding and Jeskai and just play one in Dotha Triumph. Playing Opt in your modern deck is pretty tough. I understand that you want it for Terminus, but you're also only playing 2 Terminus, which is like pretty dang weird. Pretty dang weird. Yeah, Reign of Glory looking great there. Okay, Lynx pretty bad against the Fatal Push deck that doesn't play many non-basics or the ring, so I think let's try to cut these. Lantern can stop my opponent from scamming me. Harsh Mentor also, like, I guess they don't have that many things that trigger it. Charmaw will be 4 mana some amount of the time. Might play like 1. Might play like 1 Charmaw. Three Fairy and no High Noon is weird. Okay, I don't think that's true. Fairy's still a pretty playable card. But this is also like why you haven't seen me just like play Miracles in Modern, is like it's just not as good as Jeskai. Like you should have Flage in this deck. You should have the ring in this deck if you want it to be optimal. I haven't seen this counterspell art. If you want to play Miracles though, you can cut the Approach with the Second Sons. You can play Jace the Mind Sculptor in that spot, which can double as a win condition. That also like can put Terminus on top. Archmage's Charm is pretty good, but it's probably too many 3-drops with Teferi and Brain Surge, so you maybe want to cut those and play 2 more copies of Terminus. You could also like just not play Solitude in Miracles at the moment, just like play 4 Jace or something, because like Solitude is not very good at the in Modern. I think Solitude is maybe just like unplayable if you don't have Ephemerate in your deck. Also, Sphinx the Final Word's unplayable. Like Modern is not a format where you are going to just hit 7 lands and then cast a 7-drop. It's like this is just not something you can like that can be part of your plan. Let's keep that. Let's keep the land. Should you play Indoth the Triumph and Jeskai instead of Zaggoth? I think Indotha, I mean, it's kind of close, right? So, Indotha Triumph is a land that can escape Flage. Zaggoth Triumph is a land that can cast Counterspell. So, and one complements by Sacred Foundry, one gets complemented by Steam Vents. I feel like you're wanting to like fetch Steam Vents more aggressively, right? Where you can cast Tune, or you can cast Discharge off of it, but you can't go turn 1 Steam Vents, turn 2 Indotha Triumph, and then cast the Binding. But it's also like and also cast a Binding, but there's also like the element of you can just get a Triumph, untap, 1-drop Binding, and so it's a conversation. I would play Indotha Triumph because it escapes Flage, and I think you want to get fetch Steam Vents a bit more aggressively than non-Steam Vents, so not 100% sure, I guess. Did last round go to game 3? No, we 2-0'd them, but they played, not super tight. So some loose thoughts. Good luck to you on your Miracles journey. Yeah, I'm glad I'm getting some good feedback on the Cube stuff. We're gonna play some more Cube Feeder Leagues tomorrow. Likely a slightly late stream start. We're going to do challenge and feeder leagues tomorrow. So no Bowmaster, no spells at all played yet. There's a Dothy Voidwalker. I'm going to be happy enough to Unholy Heat this, and if they use an Undying effect, we will just be also happy enough to trade Soul Guide Lantern for that effect here. I don't think there are feeder leagues tomorrow. Okay, I was under the impression that there were. If not, I have to figure out what we're doing then. Oh, right, they're on Saturday. Sorry, they are on Saturday, aren't they? Okay, we'll figure it out. Thank you for letting me know. All right, I think I'm gonna discard Sacred Foundry, Unholy Heat. Yeah, I don't have any cube bullets at the moment. People have been playing this card in Modern lately. Not a card that saw basically any play for a long time. So I was going to go Channeler, then Lantern, then Bolt, so if they kill the Channeler, I would still get a second Surveil, but now it seems I should just do this. Especially with me having boarded out my Lynxes. I don't really care too much about not having the fourth land, although, you know, Arena of Glory is still a pretty nice card to have. There's Delirium, also a future Phoenix can have some food there. Is double haste channeler not an option? Well, we'd have to discard the lantern. I guess maybe double hasting the channeler is better than just having this in my hand. But I was just kind of wanting to like play a longer grindy game. This line is also kind of bad against like Toxic Deluge or Damnation, which they could have. So maybe this line just isn't good in general. But yeah, I think you're probably right. Actually, just playing the Arena of Glory out and just not having lantern. They're at 8 life has got to be better, especially because it's better against Deluge. Them just having Fell the Profane is good news for us, though. Remember, in these kind of spots, you're going to want to surveil pre-combat because of Detective's Phoenix. Although we will certainly keep that one on top. Trying to exile Flages. I guess, yeah, that's the purpose of the main deck lanterns. I see that Fury is no longer good enough for mono red. Yeah, I mean, I would hate to cheat by putting Fury into my deck. Completely unplayable in Modern. These are Kamigawa Mountains. They look like swamps right now because of the Urborg. And then there are other Kamigawa Mountains that just kind of always look like swamps, I guess. I mean, it seems like my opponent just top decked the Saga. It seems kind of difficult for them to also just somehow have Orcish Bowmaster here, so I think I'm going to dash the Ragavan. They would have had to have top decked Fell the Profane last turn. No, top decked Bowmaster last turn and decided to Fell the Profane instead. 204. We also have Charmals in the sideboard, which are pretty good. I had one Winter Moon. We ended up cutting it today because I just wanted to play more lanterns. But also, like, because we have Arena Lynx, we're a lot better against like the ring decks, which you would usually want your Blood Moons for, if that makes sense. Like usually Blood Moons are for those kinds of matchups. Kind of an awkward draw. Usually your Blood Moons are for those kinds of matchups, and so having access to that allows you to not have to play Blood Moons in the main. What's your experience with Winter Moon in this deck? Is it working out? We actually cut it. I think I need to update the box field. We cut it for the third lantern. That being said, I liked it last night. I won a game because I had it. It was like the thing. What's weird about Winter Moon is it's like a 2-drop that you want to play on turn 3 or turn 4. You kind of want your opponent to like commit to having 2 non-basics in play, and then you just get them. And so that doesn't always pan out or whatever. Yeah, we cut the Winter Moon for the third lantern. Get the better against Gorios and Flage. But I liked it yesterday. We also added one more non-basic, so we added the Sacred Foundry for the Deafening Silences on the board, so this starts becoming like a little awkward with six non-basics. So against Jeskai. I'm gonna try to discard the Oliphaunt to the Spyro here. I guess I should have got the well, this makes me take less damage to Lynx. Oof. Phoenix Dress Down's kind of interesting. Obviously, kind of sometimes go with Flage. Speaking of Flage, does look like we're going to get to resolve a Spyro. We do have 3 Lanterns we can draw into. We have an Unholy Heat that we can try to keep for Flage killing. Seems like I should not dash Ragavan into the discharge that they have up. I'm just going to discard these 2 here. Playing Channeler this turn is kind of weird against them escaping Flage, because then we just give them like a good target for the damage. So I think we're gonna not. Kind of close. They don't have a second white mana. It seems very likely they have a Galvanic Discharge. So I think instead of dashing the Ragavan, I'll just Seasoned Pyromancer token here. Would also blank a counterspell this turn. Not that we would really hate if they counterspelled the Ragavan. Kind of nice to get to just blank all their mana. Not drawing Arena of Glory in this matchup is tough, because you really want to just have the threat of hasting stuff post Sweeper. Being able to top deck a Lynx if they top deck a Ring. And I don't really see much reason to now do anything besides just Spyro again next turn. Yeah, I love that we got them to use the discharge on this Spyro. Especially, this means I just have more elemental tokens to make. Iceman is now a mod. Let's go. Me pausing to mod Iceman kind of makes it look like I'm really upset about this Flage being escaped. They do get the Hallowed Fountain. They get Hallowed Fountain and they pass their second main phase on accident, and then play the Fountain untapped to escape the Flage. Probably killing a token, and then I get to go Channeler, Unholy Heat, dash Ragavan. Time to abuse my bot powers. You have fun. Ban anybody who has disagreed with your opinions or criticized your pet deck. This is the way. I think I'm just going to mountain cycle this first. Thins my library a little bit of lands, and then also makes Phoenixes a bit better hits. Well, I did want. I mean, we also need to hit Delirium here, of course. Uh-oh. That sucks. We do have another Unholy Heat. Alright. Sometimes you craft a plan, sometimes you just can't find an artifact or enchantment in like 5 cards. Is what it is. I think we're going to go down a Heat, up a Deafening Silence, and click Submit. Thanks, Winter. Yeah, I agree the Phoenix deck looks pretty good. Maybe we'll play that as a challenge tomorrow. I think I'll play Hollow One. You probably covered this. Spyro seemed unplayable for a while. Is that there are just less Bowmasters bouncing around? I mean, so a big part of Spyro in like the Woodlands deck is a density of like, you know, backup plan, buying time, discard outlets, high quality discard outlets. Also just kind of fits on the mana curve and what is usually a turn 4 combo deck. In this deck, it is like the best. Like you want to have like 8 card advantage cards to outgrind some opponents. Fable, Spyro are just the best options because you can't play Ring, I think, or you shouldn't want to play Ring in a Sunspine Lynx deck, and playing Detectives Phoenix makes Spyro better too. And so this is like, Phoenix Spyro is a nice little package of cards. So I don't know, it's a combination of a few things, I guess you could say. All right, let's keep this on the play against Jeskai. Seems pretty important. Let's keep it on top. I know we could graveyard for Delirium. I think Chandra Drista is unplayable this type of shell. I mean, I think she's just like, I would just rather play Fable or Spyro. Chandra's also like a lot worse than she used to be. Okay, we're really rewarded for keeping the Lantern. Yeah, Chandra's a lot worse than she used to be. I used to think she was pretty good. Now I think she's pretty mid. Don't exactly expect this one to resolve. Get rid of that one. Channeler down. 2 energy in their pool. I guess now that I have second Lantern, I would rather them counter a Lantern than counter a Fable. So we'll just see if this resolves. Maybe this is a bit bad into Wrath the Skies. That's a 12. Got a Reading of Glory and 4 Sunspine Lynx is the top deck, potentially. Seems like they probably, if they're going to main phase this, they probably don't have or they probably just drew this as a land. I mean, they've used 2 counter spells already. I think I should probably just haste the Lynx here. There's a pretty good chance I get punished for the Exert, but I think the upside is probably just way too high to pass up on. Alright, that's 3 counter spells down. Always pretty tough when they top deck 3 counter, or they have just 3 counter spells in like the top 15. It's maybe even like, I mean, it's tough because you have to play the Lynx before the Spyro here, but it can be kind of awkward to like just like, or it could be just good to like hold the Lynx until they play a Ring, although they could maybe play a Ring with counterspell up. Yeah, let's just cast a Phoenix. Don't really care if it gets countered or killed. Do mind if it gets Solituded. No Solitude. Not a ton of Solitudes in these lists at the moment. If I was going to build Jeskai, there's a good chance I would just not include Solitude in my list. So we'll see if they have the 4th counterspell, or Archmage's Charm, or Subtlety. Sure. 6 life points. Not a lot of life points for them here. Although, it kind of seems like they're plotting to cast a Flage with Dress Down in play. Gozo, the 22 months. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. So this is the Crackling Drake that everyone's talking about? I guess usually it doesn't have a Dress Down already in play. Not the most impressive. 2 dress downs down, 3 counter spells down. Okay. Got one to resolve. Top card. Shuffling that away. Let's save the Lantern for Flage. And let's just... I mean, we could get him for 2 damage here. Seems kind of fine. Block the Phoenix? They can double cast Flage without passing priority next turn if they have it. Wait, can I just Lantern in response to them casting Flage? Alright, we gotta find any creature for the win, so I think we should probably pop that. Did not find it. Maybe I've just exposed myself to Flage. Maybe they don't have Flage. So it wasn't lucky enough for them to crack that fetch land. Game 3. Boldface. I don't really see much reason to just do it now when they have a fetch land in play that they might crack. Why let them in tap? Well, I passed priority hoping they would crack the fetch land and the bolt would be lethal instead of putting them to 1. Seems almost just like super clear that it was correct to do so, especially with them already having used 3 counter spells. Right, keep. Like, they're also like just somewhat likely to Flage me there, and then like I'm even maybe happy if they counter the bolt instead of like a spell that's dealing more damage. Dashing the Ragavan can be kind of good against Wrath Disguise draws. Also, if they have Discharge, then maybe we get to like get the Ragavan in. Let's do this. Where was the advertised Winter Moon? Oh, it's been cut. I guess I need to take it out of the title, huh? It was good yesterday. I think it's still like an option for the archetype. Would I play Solitude and Jessica after Nadu's gone? I don't know. Solitude is just... I think it's bad against every deck. It's like... It's not even good against Nadu, but it's like, what is it good against? It's... like, sincerely, it's not good against Nadu. It's not good against Boros. It's not good against Eldrazi. I think it is bad in every matchup. So it doesn't seem like a card I'd love to include. Titan? I mean, it's not even very good against Titan. Okay, against Frog. I mean, you're like 2 for 1ing yourself on turn 2, but sure. Against Dimir Frog, I think it is good, yeah. I would like to have the card in my matchup in that card in my deck in that matchup. Isn't Solitude good against Flage? I would not say Solitude is good against Flage. I think it's okay against Flage. So like, yeah, Solitude is okay in the mirror. I think Solitude is a bad card against Boros if you don't have Ephemerate in your deck. If you do have Ephemerate, it's really good. But if you can't like really like, you know, utilize it very effectively, it's not a card I want to have. Okay, so let's try to Surveil into Delirium. Happy to make them use the counterspell on the Ragavan and not the Spyro, because we kind of need the Spyro to resolve since we're a little flooded. Like, we have another one here. Still no Delirium, though. Any more planned cube in the foreseeable future? So I thought there was Feeder Leagues tomorrow. The Feeder Leagues are Saturday. I didn't exactly want to stream 2 challenges this weekend. But maybe we could do something like... I could maybe just take tomorrow off and stream the Saturday challenge in Winter Feeder Leagues. Maybe we could just do both. We'll see. But yes, I do hear y'all that you're liking the cube content. I'm liking it too, but... You know, I'm liking the cube content that is the feeder leagues with like the possibility to go to Vegas. Like that's what's really exciting at the moment. You know, maybe we could do more like regular cube content later or something. We'll see if they can scam something here. They're gonna need a third land. But it's basically just 1 day a week. We can do the feeder leagues and then play the 64s if we get any tokens. So yes, I do hear y'all, and I do want to do more cube content. Are you okay, Esther? So in this spot, I'm a little bit scared about overcommitting into a Wrath the Skies, especially with them having 4 energy. I think I should I need to still play something, and that something just kind of has to be this Fable. It's kind of nice that if they counter it, we get Delirium. Yeah, okay, that worked out really well for me, I think. We should graveyard this. I think it's really tough to like. I guess if they counter Spyro, it's better. Like it's tough to It's tough to like I guess you could discard it for value too, but you can't really like get both Spyros if they So they surgical this to turn off Delirium. Like if you cast one Spyro, you're discarding the other one most of the time. So my opponent's taking 4 down to 8. I guess we should play this other channeler. Wrath is still very good against me here, of course. But if we make them tap out for the Wrath and then we Lynx them, their life total is really low, and then we have kind of a good follow-up. Arena of Glory for the win would be nice. Yeah, they didn't crack their fetch for a basic here. Hug Heist with the 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They graveyard a Null Drifter. Gonna Wrath this guys again. Evokes a Null Drifter. Do they have a Consign? Or I guess they could have drawn a Dress Down. They did draw a Dress Down. So I guess we don't have Delirium for Unholy Heat. Lightning Bolt's lethal. Lynx is lethal. Did Phoenix Shadow go 5-0 or 4-1 yesterday? I believe it was 3-2 or 3-2. It was 3-2. Ooh, we could evoke this Null Drifter. Yeah, I think that's... When your opponent's at 1 life, and you have 4 bolts in your deck, probably just don't say no to a Divination. Was I happy with Bowmaster over Ragavan? Yeah. I think so. I mean, Ragavan's fine, but the thing is, Bowmaster is just so important in this meta game. It's like there's like almost no deck that Bowmaster is bad against. Besides Nadu. It's not even bad against Nadu, but that's kind of like the worst one, maybe. So they can't crack that fetch. Throw a lethal Ragavan at them. My opponent has used 2 counter spells so far. I think I'm just going to be mana efficient and cast Lynx, and if it resolves, we win. If it doesn't, we win. Or sorry, if it doesn't, we're still in good shape. Nice. Reno, I guess let's get a trophy prediction going. Alright, on the play. 1 land Ragavan hand. 1 land double Ragavan hand. Pretty close. Let's just go to 6, I think. Keep back to channeler number 2. Yeah, if Lynx was odd for Obosh, although 5 mana is too much, 3 mana is kind of ridiculous. No Lele is so sad. Yeah, I mean, that card is just pretty bad. The card is just pretty bad. Like, when Layla was printed, I'm like, this is probably going to be a little worse than Blood Moon, Fable, Spyro in any of your red decks, but at the moment, I think it's just much worse than Much worse than everything else. Let's keep that. Read Asara. Thank you for the 37 months. Not read. I can't remember how it's supposed to be. Read Arasada. Put an extra S there. Let's just never remember. So it looks like we're up against Living End here. I think against Living End, I do want to prioritize resolving Lantern and not getting it griefed. And this is kind of the most likely turn for that to happen. Because, like, they might grief me next turn. Oh, okay. Also, if we're just not playing against Living End, deal. Reda Sarada. Reda Sarada. Cool. What does that mean? Is Subtlety better than Solitude? Probably a little bit. I don't really like either very much at the moment, though. I think if I was going to build Jeskai, there's a chance I would just lean on Flage game one and kind of expect that it's going to be, you know, especially if you have leyline bindings in your deck, like you don't really need to be so worried about your opponent just graveyard hating your Flages game one. No second land, nice. So Ragavan will definitely hit a land here. You can also, like, if you could play Dress Down in the main and just be like less worried about it too. Okay, so can't quite cast that one. We already did the 5-0 prediction. We did do one. So did you say you would play Flage as your only creature threat in Jeskai? Yeah, I mean, I might play like a Dress Down, and I might play a creature land. Probably can't play a creature land, but it's like if you just play like one Dress Down and 4 leyline bindings, like what are you scared of? Like the main reason I think to play Subtlety, or one of the main reasons to play Subtlety and Solitudes is to have extra threats besides Flage if you're worried about graveyard hate. But if you just have Dress Down binding, it's just not going to happen very often. And kind of simply, I don't think that Subtlety or Solitude are very good. Maybe I would play like one Subtlety, but I don't think I would have Solitude in my deck. I don't think Solitude is good against anything. It's just not a good card in Modern without Ephemerate in your deck. It was my birthday a couple days ago. Do you want to see a sweet Miss Brew? Happy birthday, Blue Rogue. Yeah, we've played Grixis, Basim Breach, that we have not splashed for Rumble. Rumble is very good. I would almost definitely not play the Ring in this shell for what it's worth, but it would be fine to do so, of course. Okay, so let's discard this Fable. Okay. So I'm going to haste this Lynx. I'm going to put them down to 8. And then they kind of have to block the Lynx and then take a big hit. Would I play any Narset then? Probably not in the main. I would almost definitely have a Narset in the side, and I probably would not main deck a Narset. Okay, so I'm at 16. They're at 8. They're going to take 5 down to 3. And if they kill the Lynx, my Channeler has flying, which is nice. We're going to have some treasure tokens. What was the logic behind surveilling a read into the graveyard last turn? I just kind of wanted to have like a bit more dig potential with the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So like the arena is like it's kind of funny. I found the land anyway, so I just wanted to be able to dig a bit deeper and maybe try to get Delirium on the Channeler. Frog is really good against these red decks. How did Death Shadow go yesterday? It was okay. I think we went 3-2, the only league we played with that. So I should not be F6. I'll get it push, get it Bowmasters here. Get it Frog. Epic Wave. Bloodchief's Thirst, Preordain. A lot of life hits here. The one goes to 3. Delirium on. Go for the throat. Frogs have tiny little throats, and we're going for it. I drafted Bloomborough? No, I have not. I didn't even draft any MH3. I haven't drafted any non-cube formats in a while. Is there another Goyf deck? Could maybe play extra lanterns. I like the idea of on the draw against the Bowmaster deck, cutting the Ragavans. Or Harshman, Thorn Lantern. Harshmans are pretty good against Frog, and Frog is so good against us. I think we could try doing this. Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on Bloomborough Limited. I've heard some people say it's like a really good sealed format and not a very good draft format. I've heard some people say it's just very good in general. I've heard some people say it's very bad in general, so I don't really know. I gotta keep these. Alright, so let's fetch turn 1 and then hope that we can spike Delirium off the Channeler. If I consider Ripples of Undeath in yesterday's Shadow build, I didn't really think about Ripples, but it does seem like a card we could play. So I'm going to crack these to play around Bowmaster. I mean, you could play Flare with multiple colors. I think there's been some like Valaka builds I haven't really tried. It's a fantastic paw to draft, but the league draft is mad. I mean, like, I always think it's really interesting when we hear limited players say stuff like this, like the paw draft, amazing. The league draft, like how different can it actually be? I don't doubt that it is different, but how different can it actually be? Also, like I'm someone that just kind of like always loves drafting because I don't get to do it that often, and I don't draft that often. So like when I do, I don't really feel like I have a very good frame of reference for like how good or bad it is. I just am always kind of always having a good time. Um, yeah, but I don't feel like I have a very good frame of reference for how good or bad formats are usually. Let's keep it top. Three cards in their hand. The reason is very is the reason is very different is that in a pod you have a closed metagame and decisions matter a lot. On arena, it can become a question of meeting an opponent who has a free pod, etc. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I think that is, but like, is that specific for Bloomborough draft or like what, like why is that so different for Bloomborough versus other formats? Just like swingier decks. You know, I hear a lot of people too are just talking about like limited impressions. Like I hear very often a lot of people feel like they have like very sweeping opinions on formats like just like after a few drafts. Like they just feel like they just know whether they like or whether they dislike a format, which I always find to be kind of interesting. They can know that fast. Are we celebrating after BNR on Monday? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a plan, but I'm a little stuck on what to do. I'd like to do something. Been waiting for this for a while. 2 on the top, 0 on the bottom. Not usually a very good sign. I can play around Stub, which they did show us last game. Like I feel like I have a hard time understanding how I feel about a draft format before like 10 drafts. But you hear a lot of people like on the first day just going, "This is awful," or "This is goated." What's the plan if no changes? Uh, variety streamer. I'll start streaming Black Myth Wukong, and I'll do my best to be really entertaining. I'll do my best to be really entertaining, or encourage Esther to make a lot of commission this year. I encourage Esther to really make a lot of commission and become a full-time author. Really become a cube streamer. We have tons of options, it seems. They got 2 cards in their hand. There's a frog. Let's discard both of these two. Full-time Timeless. I mean, you could still go back to Timeless. I did like Timeless when I was really getting into it. No scolding, no scolding, no scolding. Don't scold me. I'm discarding Oliphaunt. Guess I should maybe fetch first. Might hardcast an Oliphaunt next turn. Do just one more basics for my Lynx, I think. Then take the 4. Just want to get this as big as possible to like make them discard their whole hand to the frog if they want to try to get through this next turn. Yeah, I could finally no-hit Dark Souls 1. Okay, if they don't ban Nadu on Monday, I will pivot into Dark Souls no-hit stream on Monday specifically. I don't know if we'll like continue it, but we'll circle back. We'll as a protest of them not banning Nadu, we'll try to no-hit Dark Souls 1. And if we do no-hit it, then they'll have to ban Nadu for some reason. If I had no access to Moto, would I even play Modern at this point? If I had no access to Magic Online, well, I mean, my whole life would be very different if I didn't have access to Magic Online, because I've been streaming Magic Online full time for like 5 years. So my life would be really different. It's kind of hard to say. I really like Modern, and I would probably be playing it casually as I still worked my IT job that I hate. So I'm probably just going to double block Frog and make them discard their hand. Blakey with the 36, hope you're doing well. Yeah, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike. Just take 3. Do you think Magic has reached a point where it's going to be around forever? Like in the vein of chess or poker? Well, I kind of hate to say it, nothing's forever. But I think it'll be around for a while. Why couldn't I ever add Arena of Glory for the Oliphaunt? You know, nothing's forever, but it's here now, and I am sure enjoying it while I can. I'm very lucky to get to wake up and build decks and play the decks I've been building and chat about stuff, chat about Modern, try to find new stuff to do, and this has been a very rewarding and fun career path, and I appreciate y'all joining me for the ride. Okay, got deck tech for Hey Nation. So I've been kind of wanting to play a deck like this that's like a like Esper scam deck that just kind of doesn't play the Goryo stuff, but still uses Emperor of Bones alongside Grief, Ephemerate Frog, potentially Satoro to like just get some value. So I've been kind of like theory crafting that. I haven't actually built it. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that looking at this, because it's like Emperor just like in like just getting back Solitude, getting back Grief, and then you can also like Thelia, Flicker Emperor Bones, or Ephemerate your Emperor Bones. You just keep doing it too. And also like the main deck Graveyard Hate against Flage. I'm just kind of like liking Emperor of Bones, or wanting to like Emperor of Bones. That being said, this is, you know, kind of stock Gorios. The One of Teachings is a cool card. I think this is fine. I would not play any copies of Priest of Fell Rites in this deck, especially if you have 4 Emperor of Bones. I would certainly not include any copies of this card. I'm a little bit confused as to how you have 7 1-mana discard effects, and now I'm seeing that you have no looters besides Frog. I think I would play like 4 Tainted Indulgence / Mending, some kind of split here. Also, what is my opponent doing? They discarded Stern Scolding. Oh, they're deluging. Ugh. I guess, I mean, I can go like Spyro Escape Phoenix. And then that's a lot of damage in the backswing. I think it's lethal. But the thing is, they're going to leave those Goyf back to chump. I also I just don't really even love discard spells so much in this archetype, but I would definitely not play 7. I would play between 2 or 3 Thoughtseizes. I've been playing Teachings and Sulty Rec. I don't see how it can be playable outside of a shell where you have oodles of extra mana. Yeah, 19 lands is kind of tough. I mean, I think the first copy, you're just going to play it as land tapped most of the time. It's probably just okay. So now I have 7 mana, which I guess would be enough for me to haste this channeler and then put the Detective's Phoenix on a Seasoned Pyromancer. But it seems like I just don't have enough like mana value to escape. So if I can I even keep Delirium and get back Phoenix? So I can exile Seasoned Pyromancer, Harsh Mentor, and then Soul Guide Lantern, and then I would keep Channeler, Bauble, Fable. Yeah, I guess I could do that. So yeah, I think I should do that. So to maintain Delirium, put my opponent to, I guess they'll just jump with another Goyf, but a low life total. I see lethal, pretty sure. Really? Not with this back. We have lethal if they didn't have this. DRC with Haste, Bird, Oliphaunt is lethal, right? No, they could block they get the chump here. Pretty sure. See what we surveil, I guess. I forgot to haste it. Or did I? Did I forgot to haste it? Gains trample. This is 13 total. They get to block. Both will be flying. I see. I see. Never mind. I take it all back. I take it all back. Sorry. Yeah, just Phoenix here. Haste the channeler. Sorry. I see. Miss lethal. Still probably gonna win this one. I also really hate Elesh Norn in a deck like it's just so tough to ephemerate this. I probably wouldn't play it, although maybe it's fine. Sorry, I'm trying to deck tech too. It's always so tough to deck tech and play. So I think they're still they block the frog on the channeler, and then they block here the shadow on the Oliphaunt. But I can no, sorry. This is for 4 damage between these tokens. So if their last card is a removal spell, we could probably lose if we don't draw anything. We did draw something. Okay, GG. Blocks here, takes 4. Oliphaunt for the win. 8 cards in yards, evidence 3. Well, we did collect evidence twice already this game. Nor is my Nadu hate Yogg for the time being. I mean, it's fine. Bring it against Boros too, but it's going to be a one-time use a little bit too often is my problem with it. Yeah, you did miss the trophy prediction, but you might not miss the trophy. Right, we gotta wait for our opponent to realize they're dead, I guess. They did say that they're having some lag. Ghost, happy 2 years. Welcome back. Appreciate you. They disconnected. Probably restarting. Glad we didn't lose because of the miss lethal. But this match would have been over already. Would have been over already. The Withering Cyclers and Surveillance have made Modern so much better. Yeah. I agree, I think that the agency and like the intricacies of deck building and like flood insurance are all pretty good for the game. I don't, love. I know Surveillance they're really, really good, but they're fun. I don't know, they're fun. They're fine. You lose some games because you draw them too. The main deck Soul Guide Lanterns is because Flage is very tough to beat without them. Goose of the 4 months, thank you, welcome back. But just main deck some, got some heats, it's okay. No, I don't think they're tilting. I think they're having issues. I think they're fans. I really went into Arena of Glory and Oliphaunt today. Drew this a little too late. Okay, trophy prediction already happened. We're 4-0. Can you help me with my engineering revision? How would I find the resonant frequency of a system with both a rotating and vertical spring? Google that shit, brother. I dropped out of college. Google that shit. I dropped out of college. I've been doing nothing but streaming Magic for 5 years. Trying to do other stuff, though. Double Arena of Glory. A little bit awkward here. On the play against Gigantha, I'm going to keep, though, where they're probably an energy deck and having 2 bolts and a lantern for Flage is kind of just like not mulliganable. Have I played against the Synergizer in the last year? We played against them pretty recently, yeah. You found love for Phoenix. I can't wait for you to connect with your other favorite Image 3 card, Breaker of Creation. Yeah, I mean, Red Green Eldrazi. I've been wanting to play a ooh, Third Bolt. Sorry, train of thought. Having a hard time today. I've been wanting to play a Detectives Phoenix green-red deck where you could like haste a 6, haste a Fanatic of Ronus, and play Malevolent Rumble to like fuel your Phoenixes and sometimes mill over them for value. And I do agree that red-green is probably like the place to be. And I also think, I remember when we were working on red-green Eldrazi, there were a lot of people, they're like, Spike Detectives Phoenix is sick. You gotta play Detectives Phoenix. And I was a little bit sus, but now I'm a believer. Guide and Pride, huh? Pretty good. Is there a reason this deck doesn't randomly play 2 Saga? Urza Saga is bad in Modern, chat. Urza Saga is not a good Modern card. That card sucks. It's Wrath the Skies. Boros is too fast. Saga sucks. It sucked for a long time, but it's like, what are we talking about? I think I'm going to hold the Lanterns with Deflation next turn and just get to go like exile it to draw a card. I also have Lynx in our deck too. Saga sucks, dude. Why is it so expensive? It's really good. Is why. Guess we got a Bolt Guide and Pride here. Urza Saga is a really good card. That's why it's so expensive. Speaking of awful cards. Saga's nuts if your opponent's playing Wrath. I don't think so. It's like so slow against Boros. It's not good against Gorius. It's not good against Eldrazi. There's kind of just like not a card in the modern metagame it's good against. So I don't know. Like why are we? I don't know why we're trying to play it. Yeah. Like where's like Courser's Accord has never been good, and that's why I like to call Urza Saga in decks with no broken artifacts and tutor, with not a lot of artifacts in general. You're just playing like 6 mana, 2/3/3s. It's pretty fine against Gorios. I guess it's okay against Gorios if you have the main deck Lantern. That's true. But then they have Wrath the Skies post board, which is pretty tough. Yeah, not looking very good this game. But you played Courses Accord in my green red Ravnica deck that hated. Yeah, I did. I did my first ever. My first ever FNM. I think I had like 2 Courses Accord in my deck. Just cards I opened up pre-release. Okay, so we got 3 Pyroclasms in the board, and the 4th Lantern, and the general plan is to just board out the Ragavan for these. Seems like we'll be getting to that plan shortly. Has Ragavan ever been good? Yeah, Ragavan. There was a time where Ragavan was a pretty good card. I also cannot cast these Lynxes, so discarding them. Ragavan was good in Modern for a little bit. And I think before Orcish Bowmaster was printed, Ragavan was one of the best cards in Modern, and it was it was definitely a card that you could exploit. Like it was not that tough to build a deck that was good against Ragavan and the Ragavan decks, but it was very polarizing card, a card that people really hated. All right, got to win the next 2. Saga has a good Necro matchup. That's like yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm just so low on Saga decks, which is good. I think it's kind of good that like they've kind of designed around these cards, and they they just kind of feel like deck building tools, Ragavan and Urza Saga, more than like format warping staples. Rin and 6 to some extent feels like this too. Cards that are just like just so push, so annoying, and they just kind of get designed around, and they're now just kind of okay, I feel. What are the good cards in Modern? Most of Image 3. I don't know. I got a lot of pushback when I said MH3 was stronger than MH2, but these like MH3 just Boros is just MH3 constructed. Pretty crazy deck, but also pretty exploitable deck. Um, this is a fine card to keep, I think. Kind of borderline. Now, I do want to Pyroclasm before I Spyro. And I also want to discard the Oliphaunt to Spyro. And I kind of want to save the Lantern for after they cast Flage, so I can exile it from the yard. So I think we'll just do nothing this turn, and then we can try to go Pyroclasm this turn with Unholy Heat up next turn, and then Spyro, see what happens. What made Spyro come back? Well, it's mostly that like Spyro is good in the Woodlands deck, which is a really obscure deck, and in this deck we want another card advantage engine. We want another way to discard Phoenix. We can't play the Ring. It's just kind of like the clear answer almost in the shell. Also, like, I know you have a lot of cheap removal. You can play around Bowmasters. Spyro's actually kind of good against Boros in my experience too. Combination of a few things. Image 3 equals the best synergy image set. Image 2 equals the best power level image set. I disagree. Like, the power level of image 3 is higher than image 2. I don't even think it's like close. Or I mean, it's close, but I don't think it's like a debate that I'd be interested in having or feel like I could be convinced on this chat today, at least. Otherwise. Should I just Pyroclasm here? The problem with just Pyroclasming is that my opponent's going to respond with a removal spell. So I think I'm going to cast this, discard Oliphaunt, discard Pyroclasm. Thoughts on Delighted Hafting in the Woodlands deck? Feels like Cash Grab is the worst card in the deck. I strongly disagree. Well, Cash Grab might be the worst card. Sure, I could agree with the thesis. Cash Grab is the worst card in the deck. That being said, Cash Grab is very important. I think I built the deck pre Cash Grab, and there's just not enough enablers. If you don't have Cash Grab, you're just not going to be fast enough, consistent enough, in my opinion, in my experience. I don't think Delighted Halfling is very good. It's pretty awkward to cast Seasoned Pyromancer. It puts like a lot of air in your deck, which can be a bit awkward too. This is also a bit awkward. Maybe we should have killed the Guide Souls first. I think I'm going to let this happen. Just see what we top deck. Again, I don't really want to like be too aggressive with the Unholy Heat either. Now we're going to go discard 1/2. I still have a Lantern for that. I kind of feel like they might be killing their own cat token here. No, they're targeting me. So I think at this point, what we'll do is Unholy Heat the cat token end of turn. Since I'm not racing this very effectively. And if they flip the Ajani, we can kill the Ajani pretty well. Otherwise, they'll be potentially out of cats. It does feel like they're holding up Galvanic Discharge, so I could maybe try to not Lynx here. Yeah, I think there's a good chance we could make them use the... We can make them use the Galvanic Discharge on something else and then have like a really effective turn next turn. Let's see what we draw here. Another Lantern. So let's bestow. Nice. Although I guess that's not galvanic discharge, so a little bit less nice. Could also save this lantern for Flage. I'm just gonna play that one out. They got 2 cards in their hand. They're making us work for it. Your turn. Yeah, Phoenix is really, really good. I had 4 yesterday. Maybe she'd still be playing 4. It's just kind of bad to draw multiple sometimes. Not in this spot, I guess. Yeah, I love that they still have that one. Although, if they can get more energy, it could be bad. I have the Flying Phoenixes to block. Why play the Lantern versus hold it? I have a 4-drop in my hand, and I want to be mana efficient as I can. I want to be able to go Lynx plus 1-drop next turn, while also Lynx plus 1-drop, while also being able to pop the Lantern on a Flage. So I'm going to put Gigantha into their hand here. Casting this means I'm dead to a Flage or a Bolt, which is pretty awkward. Let's go ahead and cycle this. Maybe I'd find a Spyro and just discard this. I do not have Delirium. All right, let's fade those top decks that I mentioned. Opponent's hand right now is just a Gigantha. They've used 1 Flage and 1 Bolt already. Down to 9. No more life gain off the Guide of Souls. Juicy J. This does mean that they can jump a second creature with the Guide of Souls, but I do have 2 flying blockers. And I have 6. Enough evidence to recollect this Phoenix after I block with it. Potentially, also, you know, I'm just kind of threatening lethal in the backswing. They probably can't attack. If I just block like this, they're dead, I think. Yeah, it's your Delirium for a brief momento here. Heat allows me to bestow both. Yeah, but this Phoenix won't be in the yard. It'll be in play. So it seems like I just will never bestow both. Going to game 3. Soaring, flying, swinging with the links to go to game. Okay, sorry, I thought that would work. Okay, game 3. Click and submit. Gonna go use the restroom real quick.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Well, I was hoping to come back to a banger 7. My opponent's gone to 6, at least. We're joining them here.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Not boding well. I mean, if we just have like 2 lands and a Pyroclasm in our 5-card hand, we're just Gucci. Alright, well. Here we are. The end is near. Gonna put back something. Probably. You had Chandler and Surveil. There's no way you're supposed to keep that 7-card hand. You're silly, I think. Even like we're not like that first hand's not a debatable keep on 7 on the draw against a mulligan to 6. There's it's not a combo. So I'm gonna put back a Phoenix. I'm gonna put back the second Channeler. I think we gotta heat the guide. Stop them from priding. They could also play Amped Raptor here, and then we could cut them off of 3 energy, although with the Aether Hub, that's not true anymore. Really needed that Pyroclasm, maybe. Still got some in the deck, 3 in the deck. Oh, that's not ideal. Felipe with the 13, appreciate you. Welcome back. The Pyro in hand would have been the same. Oh, right, they had the Aether Hub. All right. 1 card in their hand. Too many Pyroclasms. Sideways, the 30, appreciate ya. We need our opponent to not have much follow-up to this. Hoping that if they do have a follow-up, they play like Guide Pride here, or Pride, Ragavan Pride. And 0 the Ajani, and don't play around the Pyroclasm. Yeah, no red permanent, no Flage. So we have used 2 of our 4 Unholy Heats so far. We do have Delirium. That is the best top deck by a lot in this spot. Go ahead, draw a card here. Maybe it was better to Pyroclasm this turn. Not sure. Yeah, I think I was probably a little too focused on drawing the Unholy Heat. I probably should just cast the Pyroclasm, and then they're just making a cat every turn. It's going to be really hard to win, so I don't know. Giganta in the hand. Playing a Fable. We're just supposed to let them flip a Johnny, then Unholy Heat after it flips, we can class them next turn. Well, we didn't have Delirium at the time. The Johnny comes down with 3 loyalty for some reason, and it did seem like it was better to not play around a removal spell in that spot. We are dead though. Tough. Johnny's very good. Yeah. Rolled a 5 that game also. We just had like another one, like the second channeler in the hand there. If that was a 6 instead of a 5, we had a pretty good chance to win. That's how the end of that league goes. Pretty solid. Like Lynx, I think this is a fun way to build, mono red, kind of a different take on the archetype. Open to Harbinger of the Seas. Shout out Downers. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday when we were playing the Flare. This is 2 days ago, maybe. We're playing the Flare of Duplication.